All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Starting the show on time this morning. That's new for a change. I'll wait for some people to roll in here. We can get started. It's been a pretty interesting week. Market's been fairly stable to up, as a matter of fact. Monday started us off with our first accumulation day in a while, right there. Green arrow on top, accumulation day, and it's been pretty good since then. Some really good volume days. Unfortunately, some distribution creeping in, but really not too much, which is good. So good stuff all around for the moment. And I like the action throughout the week. Pretty stable, relatively calm. Really not a lot going on. Not a lot of huge down moves across the board. Um, we have quite a few cup and handles forming in a lot of other tokens. We had a small double bottom base. Bitcoin broke out of here 64.5, and now we're up at 68.2. Pretty good sideways action here into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Not bad right there. Good volume. A couple good pocket pivots. Really, the only red pocket pivot was this candle. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this candle here, why that showed up. If that was just a random candle or if that was something else. But um, all in all, it's not. Doesn't appear to be causing us any problems. So it's just a small swing low, and then now we have a couple of other swing high lows, depending on how you want to call it. So all in all, looking good. Look, ideally, we're ready to go, and it just depends when the buyers want to come in, and I think that really that's the case here. When do the buyers want to step in, and when that happens, I think we'll actually get a leg up. We'll actually start to finally move. You could argue we're already in a leg up with the breakout. This breakout is held very nicely. Okay, like we're already. Let's see what percentage we're up. We're at about 5%. Hey, what's up, Aram Bud? How you doing, man? So we're up about yeah, about 5-6% in BTC for the breakout. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Crazy. This October's been nuts all around. Stock's been pretty good though. Crypto's getting better. So here's October. Yeah, crypto's had a better October, but yeah, doing good so far. I think BTC's in a pretty decent place. I think a lot of things are in pretty good places. We'll see that as we go through the charts. There's actually quite a few things. Hey, what's up, English? How you doing, bud? Actually, quite a few top coins looking excellent, all with cup and handle patterns. There's quite a few of them. Alts are still lagging behind, and I'm hoping that's going to bring in a pretty healthy market cycle this time around. I know back in the day, we would see, layer one coins go, then we'd see the top tier alts go, then the second tier alts go, and then like the garbage and third tier alts go. I'm hoping we get that again. Yeah, so far looking good. I mean, we keep pressing up towards it. I really like that action. I think the low and slow is good. We've lost a little bit of momentum, but nothing too bad. There's no topping signatures really as of yet. This distribution, this red candle from Tuesday, has been really a nothing event. It just kind of came right back and went on with business as usual. So that got eaten up. I think there's buyers in this market. I just don't think they're aggressively buying because they're able to get liquidity elsewhere. They're able to get some people selling, and so they're just taking advantage of that before they actually break it out. Because look, in reality, it's hard to figure this part of the market out because there's so many market participants. But really, all the market is an amalgamation of buyers and sellers, and the buyers are they're gonna try to get it lower. And in this cycle, they've really been able to kind of get this crypto much lower down here in the 50,000 level, and then they're gonna, if they don't have to buy it at 70, they'll try to buy it at 50. And I do believe a lot of these are institutional buyers, which means they have a lot more patience than most crypto investors do, and they're much more willing to hold through a lot of events because for a lot of them it's just kind of their day job. So Hex and Pulse are garbage. Yeah, they've pretty much proven themselves to be garbage. at this stage of the game. I don't think it is what it is, you know. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, Pulse has some potential, but I really haven't been keeping up with either, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, so 64, 68 is next. We loosely touched that. And today we are just kind of pulling in a little bit. Weekend volume, really nothing crazy going on here. Yesterday's volume did increase a little bit. We got a nice buying pop right there. So that was pretty good. And then after that, just a little bit of really nothing going on. So I think BTC's in a good place. You know, we had the 64 451. That was your traditional breakout point for this pattern. It's a double bottom pattern, and that was your traditional breakout point. And this is a trend line breakout point, and this is your all-time high. So that's why we have these up here like this. And so far we broke one. We're at the other one. We're at the other one. They're almost like the same distance from each other too, just about 4,000 give or take. Not bad. So a pullback here really would not be abnormal. Um, just tough to know what's going to do right now. It's just there's no traditional pattern. We are breaking this trend line, but we're really not doing it in any bad fashion at all. So oh yeah, English reminding me to tell you guys to drop a like because I suck at that. I suck at asking people for that. Um, Yeah, so I like BTC. I like BTC right here. We'll see if we get the big breakout. If if it goes here, then you're gonna look back at 64 and be like, oh, I should have gone in on the actual pattern. That's generally how I feel in these situations. If you don't buy at the actual pattern, you're usually chasing after that. And we are in chasing territory with that in mind. We mentioned a little bit ago we're past the 5% part for buying. So ideally, you don't want to buy more than 5% past a traditional breakout point, and that's really what this level is. So it's going to be tough to get in from here on out unless you can find a really tight stop loss. I think you can be good to go. At the moment, your better stop is under the low from Thursday, but again, pulling back into the breakout point really wouldn't be abnormal, and that would take that stop loss out. So it's trickier the higher we get. All right, I'm just gonna keep moving down, guys. I'm not sure how long we'll go today. Last week we went quite a long time. We did quite a bit on BTC and such. So you can look for last week's video if you want to go full deep into that. Um, do have quite a bit of things to do today. We got planning for a Halloween party next weekend, and it's a big old bash. So everyone's cleaning the house right now, and I'm kind of remiss doing this. So yeah, unless you guys got any questions, I'll answer all your questions. But we're just gonna go through the motions here, and we'll see where we end up, y'all. So Ethereum looking pretty good here. This also has a cup and handle. I talked earlier a little bit ago about cup and handles. Here's one, 2688, pretty much right where that is on the dot, and that's where our alert level is right now. 2688. There's your cup. There's your handle. Volume signature on the way down is a little bit heavy, and the volume aggregation tool really isn't a big fan of this overall. Accumulation is really just eroding away. One pocket pivot here, which is what even gives us this handle, but it's been pretty stable up here, barring that large candle, whatever that was, um, and also a small cup and handle here as well, even on the 2 hour. So a cup and handle in your handle can be a good sign. Um, it's not ideal, but it's pretty good. There's your cup. There's the handle. There's the beginning of the handle, and it just goes in a downward trajectory like that, similar to this downward trajectory across these highs. So this is looking pretty good. Ethereum, Bitcoin's in a spot where it could continue to rally. Ethereum's in a spot where it could strike BNB. Also pretty good. 606.30 new alert level for BNB. There's that 587. What's 587? I don't know. We'll get rid of that. There we go. We'll get rid of that. This is gone at the moment. So it's just a 606. And then let me look at the alert. I think I got 7 something for BNB2. 714. So that must be the high. It's some high. I don't know. So I have 7 ports. So 606 is active. Cup and handle also on BNB. Pretty good volume. This one, your volume isn't, it's pretty much at your bottom. And so that's a pretty good cementing of that bottom. Let's go take a look at that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, in Slack? Thanks. Thanks, Aram. Thanks, Aram. Yeah, I didn't. I wouldn't have seen his message otherwise. Appreciate that. I think he's having a problem with his emails or something. So, hey, there you go, Mike. Sorry, I didn't see your messages. My note when I'm on my desktop, my notifications are hidden by my microphone, so I really can't see them too well. And I'm not even sure if I got notified. Anyway, um, yeah, Mike. So just to recap for you real quick, but BTC doing pretty good here. Has been solid after the double bottom breakout, the 64,451. Now we're fighting up here with the 78s. Doing pretty good, but I mean, it can do anything right here. I mean, it's in a really good spot. It could just pop up whenever. If we just keep this tight over the weekend and have a pop up, that would be great. But a pullback back to the 64, somewhere down in here, really wouldn't be abnormal in this, at this level. You go up 5-6%, you pull back, you test the breakout, you try to go again. We could even stall, right here, which actually is that pivot point for this low on the 2 hour as well, where I mentioned would be that okay stop, but it's in a weird spot. Yeah, things are looking better. I mean, really, they are. If you look at this overall structure now, we're you know if you view the market as like, oh, there's a big curve happening here. We're in the right side of the curve, right? So it's looking better. What that turns into, is anyone's guess. Ideally, at some point, we'll go vertical, bring all the crazy buyers in again. But yeah, definitely looking better. And this right here, I think is one of the keys. This double bottom base right here. So traditional bases really do it for me. Wow, I was able to do that in one shot. And so this right here is a huge clue. It's an actual base, double bottom base. You get the shakeout even. It's nice, tight. It's concise. I don't have any problems with it. Only 11% deep. It don't even qualify as a double bottom base. It'd just be a flat base actually. Wouldn't even really qualify as a base, but definitely has the signatures of one. So looking good there. Yeah, it looks really good there. I like the volume kicking up here. Bitcoin looks really good. Ethereum not looking as good, but it does have a cup and handle. Volume signatures kind of not great. Um, RSI trendline break is in the right spot, so that could go inverted head and shoulders if you want to call it that. There's a couple things happening here, so that's not bad. And then we were just talking about BNB also with cup and handle 60630. And I do like BNB looks really good. Pretty heavy on the downslope here, not so great on the way up. It's good. Don't get me wrong, I like these volume candles, but you see the VA tool just shows you the buyers aren't extraordinarily interested. But the whole point, I think, on some of these, and we forget this a lot of the time, is they don't look good until they break out, right? Ideally, your distribution would be low and the buyers would be low, and then you break out. We're kind of in that situation. They're not necessarily, I guess they're kind of low. I guess they're low. Okay. I guess BNB's low. Look at this big consolidation too. This has been up here for a while. Very comfortable, in this 575 level. Just call it whatever. Very comfortable up here. Yes, we spiked down, but we came right back. And if you give up this top and bottom spikes, you get a nice range here between, 640 and 470. Most of the time spent above the 500 level and below the 600 level. So that's a good 20% range, a normal range. You get these spikes, these outliers, but they're the exception, not the rule, right? And so as we get tight up here closer to the 6, boom, we're looking good like we want to go. Yeah, Solana does look good also. Absolutely. I agree with that. Solana historically has led us and has especially recently historically has led us and is looking pretty good here. So next up is Solana, and Solana, yeah, zoom out on Solana. Let's go naked on Solana. It looks really good. We've done a lot of work on Ethereum versus Solana. I think there's a base like this on ETH. I think I don't somewhere some maybe maybe not. Yeah, not exactly. So huge cup and handle on Solana. Technically, it's not a cup and handle because the percentages are just extraordinarily out of whack. But in terms of, so part of the thing about a cup and handle is it lets distribution come in, people buy the bottom, then they run it up, and then they try to accumulate more as much as they can before it breaks out. That's what the handle is, right? And I don't know if that's the dynamic at play here because this has been going on for, 3 years. So they usually don't play games over that long. They'll play the game over like this. This is a good example, an actual cup and handle right here, right? That's the dynamic at play here. Nice uptrend. It comes down. Sellers get a chance to sell. They buy it up, right? And then they get a little aggressive on the way up. They let it come back down. They try to get some more. They can't get any more because see the liquidity dries up. Then they buy it up because they realize there's no liquidity left. That's the whole dynamic around a cup and handle. And this is a time scale to do it on from December to February, 2 or 3 months. That's like pretty perfect in that regard. But in this situation, I don't think that I don't think you get that dynamic from 200 to 7 to 200, right? So yeah. I think we completely screwed the pooch on, hey, let's not forget Solana when it's much lower and then buy the crap out of it before it goes back to all time highs. I don't think a lot of us actually did that. Held it for a year and a half to go from 7 back up to, well, what's been 200. Yeah, I don't think a lot of us did that. Congrats to those that did. You're a much better person than I am. But that's the dynamic you play with these leaders, especially in crypto. Um, anyways, but yeah, no, you're completely right, Mike. Very tight, super tight. Um, even this cup and handle, I'm not sure the percentage on this, but 17%. It's just a super super tight pattern. Yeah, I mean these are situations where we could get huge moves out of these, and then everyone's kind of wondering, oh, I wish I would have seen that, or I wish I would have done something. And this is one of the hallmarks of the things that I try to tell people is to focus on the leaders. Absolutely focus on the leaders. So, who are the leaders? BTC. I feel like Ethereum's losing some leadership status. Solana. BNB is a good player, but it's not a leader. Tron has some leadership qualities to it. It's not moving in gargantuan percentages, but it's definitely runs to the beat of its own drummer there. Hey, what's up, Martin? Sui, maybe. I don't full this cycle. It's been leading this cycle. I'm not sure if it's a leader. Um, yeah, we'll get to Sui in a little bit, but yeah, Solana definitely a leader. We talk about leaders and categories and sticking with leaders. Like that's why this was so heavily followed, and that's why it behaves so great. I think that's great. First time here, can you check out Gala? Oh, you never seen my channel before, and you found me. Well, that's crazy. That's really crazy. Yeah, we'll check Gala real quick. What do you want? Do you have anything specific on Gala or? Um, yeah, so this one also has a cup and handle. Quite a few alts have cup and handle ish things to them, and this one does too. Right here, nice little pattern, pretty good. Gala, Gala, not a big leader. Yeah, we can look at Bonk too. Um, Gala would be coming out of lows, big structures down here. Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, so what I do here, just so you know, this is a I do the show I do the live show weekly on Saturdays, but I have a newsletter, the Real Crypto Power Hour that I send out every day with a short synopsis video. And I go through all the top 20 cryptos and I look at all the alts and I see what's interesting and I post those for people. It's just kind of a public preview for that. So we'll go through that. We'll do that. We're in the middle of going through the top 20. We're on Solana. We got a lot to go. So that's kind of what we do here. Um, but yeah, this wouldn't really make my list. There's quite a few with little cup and handles on them right now. I can't say this one's amazing, but every coin has its day, right? So every coin's gonna move at some point. This one's pretty good, but there's a lot of vaults look like this. They look okay, but nothing really spectacular. Not a lot of good volume here. VA tool here shows the orange is distribution, the green is accumulation. I separated them out. there's a lot of things that show them together, but I've separated them out. I've added up the selling candles and the buying candles so you can see them separately. And so a little bit of selling here, but I think if this gets over the 2391 level, whatever this high is here, 2377, I think you could have a nice little move right there. Go watch my video from last Saturday on that. I'm not even sure we covered that on last Saturday's video. But we do have a couple of potentials here because look, there's no one right answer. So we have 98, 122, 168, and if it goes crazy, 328. Those are kind of, I don't really fully remember how we got all of those. I know one's a measured move, one's another measured move, one's an extension. I think one is a percentage based. So really, that's awesome, Don. You're a senior dev now? You gonna fucking build something for me, you lazy bastard? Jesus Christ. Good for you, dude. Awesome. That is so cool. I can't even tell you how awesome that is. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. Not that I did anything, but like just I'm proud that you went and did that. That is so awesome. I'm kind of pissed that I don't have the gumption to do that myself. Yeah, I do stocks. I come from the stock market. I'm starting a stock newsletter actually, so keep a lookout for that. You son of a bitch. It's okay. It's okay. But good for you, man. That's awesome. Congratulations. I'm really, really proud of you. That is so cool, man. Good for you. Keep it up. Yeah, keep it up. Golang's one of those languages I think will be around for a long time because Google ain't going anywhere. So that's great. Well, I'm definitely going to hit you up for tech support if I ever decide to get off my ass and do something. Yeah, let's get back to Solana. Someone mentioned Bonk. I'll do Bonk in a bit. Aram's looking for Solana targets. I mean, Aram, I'm not a huge target guy, but um, I really don't know. This could come down to market cap. It also could come down, and see, this is the dynamic at play here when it comes to targets. It's really hard to quantify. Like, is Solana going to take over leadership? I think that could be big. If Solana is going to take over any leadership, you're at 73. ETH's at 300. So that right there would be like what, a 4 or 5x, almost a 5x, 4x. Um, yeah, so it's got great potential. I really don't even know. To be honest with you, Rom, I don't like doing that. If this breaks out and you buy it, use the pie method for exits. That's all I gotta say. The pie method for exits has proven itself time and time again just to fucking kill it. So when we get in these parabolic moves, um, whatever that number is, I don't know what it's going to be. And I don't want to pretend to sound smart and try to pick a number out of my ass. So I mean, it could top out at 3, 4, 5, 600. I don't know. I really don't. If you try to take a measured move out of this, I think it's just bananas. Could it do it? I guess it depends on if it's being used that much. If you take a breakout to a breakout, that's 1300. So I mean, can I rationally call a 10x? I mean, I don't know. From 20 to call 200 here. I mean, would that be? I mean, we did talk about it. It was rational because it was a prior high, but 10xing from there again. I mean, maybe it's a potential, um, but I really am a huge fan. And the longer I do this, the less I'm infatuated with targets, and the more I'm infatuated with understanding how the coins or stocks move, and understanding when the momentum is done. So we can use this last run as kind of an example. Um, I do believe we ended up with a pie method exit somewhere up here, and we talked about reloading out for this big cup and handle at the 112, and then you would have ended up with not a great exit up here, but an exit up here before it really stagnated. So I really do just believe staying with it, trying to let it work, um, is much more powerful than anything else. Than anything else. Otherwise, you just end up with unrealized expectations, or you hold on for too long. And the balance is going with the trend, staying with everything. And when you talk about pie method, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? So I've got this method called pie method for those of you that don't know. I'm not going to go into it fully, but it involves staying with the trend of the token, following certain rules to know like when to exit and when to stay with it. And what it does is it really gets you to some amazing exit points. It really does. And so one of those exit points was up here. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I'm not even sure if we had a pi method exit up here. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some newsletters or something. But yeah, just stay with it. I mean, look, even if you exited up here, like I mentioned earlier, you would have had a re-entry with the cup and handle. So there's all kinds of dimensions at work there. I mean, look, you don't want to hold through most of this if you don't have to, and you don't want to hold through this for sure. So I mean, there's a lot at play here. I mean, if you're going margin, which I know a lot of you guys are not, but if you are, this will kill you. This will kill you. This would be okay. And so you want to give it that shot. So yeah, I really don't have a target though. I think if Solana gets moving, number one, depends how much volume comes in. If you look down here, look at the volume that came in here. We're talking hundreds of percent over average volume, day by day by day by day. That's heavy accumulation. And so if we see something like that here, I think you expect a larger move. If we don't get that, then I think you can expect a smaller move. And maybe the trend lines will lead you to exiting earlier. Who knows? We could pop up and fail at this high. We could fail up here at the 200 if we don't get enough volume. That's a full possibility. It's a full-blown possibility. I mean, last cycle we saw BTC, you know, basically swing failure pattern up here. I think it may have been the first time it's done that in reality, like a full-blown swing failure into a bear market. So dynamic shift, we understand that, and I think that's why staying with the sentiment, and that's why it's not like a red light green light situation. All right. Let's get back to Solana. We'll keep going down the list here, but yeah, I think this is great. I think at a minimum you expect a move. You break the 159. I think at a minimum you expect the 200, right? And then if it's full blown healthy, things are looking great, then obviously I think we can surpass that. And then if everything's breaking out, you have to go with it. There's no other option. You know, and we're still at some decent levels. BTC is broken out from its pattern, but Solana isn't, ETH isn't, BNB isn't, Tron isn't, and we're gonna go through those. Um, but you really have no choice. It's what we do. So it's what you do. Someone mentioned SCI earlier. That's been a pretty good token. So we do. This has a cup and handle on it as well. And see, this is a good run up on this one. Actually, I like this setup. I don't have this. It's been a minute since it's been on the newsletter. Probably since I threw this 5076 alert level, which has probably been almost a week at this point. Um, yeah, this has a really nice pattern on it. And yeah, it hasn't really broken the trend line. Hasn't. So breaking this trend line, I think it really can't go down a lot lower. It'll start killing the handle. Volume is still good on the signature. I think this is pretty good. The only flaw I see here, which isn't a small flaw, is the volume signature has a lot more distribution. I think you would like it to see. And my VA tool shows that quite a bit of selling. The buyers are kind of drifting away here. They really need to come back quick. We need to get a pocket pivot on the daily, which at this point you'd have to get above this candle. So that's asking a lot right now. And it's good though. Like I like the pattern of it. We did look a little bit into SCI. It's pretty good tech. It's pretty good tech. So I won't dismiss it from that perspective. I won't call it a shit coin. I think that's good. So that one's pretty good. Someone mentioned Bonk. We'll take a look at Bonk. There's a cup and handle too. Pretty good signatures. Volume, again, a miss. You got the sellers way over the buyers. And that's a flaw right now across this market is the volume signatures are all weird. One flaw with Bonk is it is Bonk, and it is just a piece of garbage. So I don't think there's any utility to this token from my understanding. But tightening up, trying to break, maybe it has an opportunity to go. There's a possibility there. I wouldn't call it a leader. It's not something I would be heavily invested in. So again, back to Solana. I mean, good stuff here. Really good stuff here. Cup and handle looks pretty good. Again, the volume signature, not very good here. It can turn around. It has given up some of its leadership, but it hasn't fallen apart. So I don't think you want to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this one. It is a really good, really good token. Started to break out of this particular trend line, which I've had her for a while. I'm giving up a lot to keep this up above the trend line. That's not something I usually do. But we're respecting a few other resistance levels here too. So I do like the fact that it is above there. And now we're trying to get through this whole resistance at this kind of 160, 150, 160 level. Yeah, pretty much the 160 level. There's a range here. 163.45 is the high of the range, and the low of the range is probably my 159.70. So I think I have both encapsulated here. We're above this range, then we can start to think good thoughts again and think about those breakouts. But we're in a good spot. Starts to fail here, becomes a problem. What can you say about a coin that, or any asset that gets up to this level and fails? It gets up to testing this many resistance points, can't push through. What does that say about it? I can't say there's demand. All I can say is there's no demand. If there's no demand, it's probably not likely to go up. So it's going to get real tricky real soon if these patterns start to fail. And we are in that part of the market cycle. So we are in that part of the market cycle where we mentioned in Bitcoin earlier, you take a curl across here, we're on the right half of it. We're in the side we should start to move. We're in the side we should start to move. So ETH kind of being the redheaded stepchild of that whole situation. Yeah, did come back down to our really long-term pi method trend line though. That's a really long, that better get supported there. And I'm not happy that it's way down here. Like I said, Ethereum's leadership is under question, at least in my mind. And I've seen some data to support that as well in terms of network usage compared to other networks. So, all right, moving on from Solana, XRP. And a lot of these are going to go fast because they're just trash. XRP looking pretty much like garbage, topping signature a few days ago here. Had a good opportunity to go up, really couldn't do it. TON, just nothing happening here. Doge, must be something with Elon. You guys tell me. I mean, between the people here, I'm sure somebody knows something. I think so, Phil. That's what I was just saying that, Phil. I think we're in that part of the cycle where we have to go, and if we can't go, it's a red flag. Um, I've seen some crazy stuff. Anything can turn around at any time, but things usually happen in a fairly logical progression. And Bitcoin has just been up here for so long, it's at a point where it needs to start pushing through. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of lack of faith in it overall. Hold on, Google just logged me out. I gotta log in real quick. Likes to do that during my power hour sometimes. But yeah, I do think we do push through. Time frame on that, I mean, weeks. Ideally weeks. You know what I mean? Like not even a month. We should start to move up. We should start to go. Speaking of starting to go, anyone figure out why Doge went? Did Elon say something? Is he starting to accept Dogecoin to get uh so he can buy Frappe's at SpaceX thing in Boca Chica or something? Like what did he say here? Because the volume's impressive. This is really, it's like somebody knows something is really what it looks like. After the election, I don't think the election has much to do with crypto, to be honest with you. Um, about the election, you know what I heard last night? This is legit. So I was at karate and I just heard the tail end of the conversation. Some other people were talking about a construction company, and apparently they've done this before. They're waiting until after the election to approve overtime and do construction projects. And they're a cement company. Like, what the hell does a presidential election have to do with, your overtime for the next month and a half, or I guess 2.5 months? Boggles my mind. I was thinking about it last night, and I can't think of why. Like, is Trump not going to approve more construction projects than Kamala is? I don't get that. And then how does that affect downstream to their singular business in Arizona? I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, he did talk about it? Yeah, so yeah, maybe some people are just picking at it. Maybe that's the dynamic at play here. But when it comes to election stuff, I don't think it really affects that much. Um, there are certain times where that could be different, but I don't know. I guess Trump's pro crypto, Kamala's anti crypto. Is that the dynamic here? I'm not actually educated on that one, but I don't think it's a huge thing. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think either of them are gonna do shit with crypto. Let's just be honest. This is an election cycle. They're talking shit just to talk shit. Both of them, right? So they're just talking stuff to talk stuff. They have to touch on everything, and but at the end of the day, they're probably not. Neither of them probably gonna do much with crypto. I don't think they're gonna do much with it. I mean, what more can they do? They've already neutered it to the point where it's not even fun to trade in the U.S. anymore. So The best thing to do in the US is trade these stock market derivatives, of which Master was up 11% on Friday. Had a shit. Remember, because we talked about this one last week in Mass. Um, so Friday, the previous Friday was really good, and the rest of the week was garbage. Thursday was a doji, and then boom, Friday 11%. So yeah, good stuff there. But I don't think there's really much going on with the election stuff. I don't think so. Yeah, it has been flying. It's the leader for all the derivatives. A lot of people are asking why should we have faith in a digital asset though. Um, I don't know who those people are, but I bet you they're old, right? And the world is run by old people, but is taken over by young people. So here's the thing: you already trust the digital asset. That's the answer to that question. You have a debit card, right? That's digital. You have a credit card, right? First of all, you shouldn't have a credit card, but that's digital. Third, I'm pretty sure you make digital payments, so everything you already do is fucking digital. So that's my answer to that. We already do everything is digital. So it doesn't even matter. Like it legit doesn't matter. I think look, Bitcoin is going to be here in 100 years. It's going to be here in 200 years. It's going to be here in 500 years. Bitcoin, I do believe, will be here. I do believe Bitcoin will be here. What role will it play? No idea. I have no idea, but I know it'll be here. It's too big. It's too pervasive. It's too much of a thing. It's not going away. So the people that are asking that question just don't know anything. Literally don't know anything. It's also been around since 2009 for fuck's sake. It's a teenager for crying out loud. And it's worth more pretty much every single year. At least every 4 years it's worth more. But you get my point. That should not even be a question. If someone asks you that question, they're not going to get it. They're just not going to get it. And that's okay. Now, should you trust most digital assets? No. No, you shouldn't. Should you trust most currencies? No. No, you shouldn't. Should you trust the US currency? Yes. Should you trust Bitcoin? Yes. So, anyway, at this point, I think it's a nonsensical question. Does it do anything? No, but neither does gold. I mean, we use gold, but anyway, it's kind of I don't want to go off in too much of a tangent. Your son said that all the big construction companies are worried about the Democrats controlling the economy, and it's no good for multi-billion dollar construction projects. Okay, I could ask my wife, who actually works for a actually the 12th largest in the nation, and see what they think about that. All I know is they get government contracts all the time. Look, it's why would you live your life and run your company by fear? You're just gonna get behind. So you're gonna stop bidding on projects because you're scared of something. Ah, big fucking pussies, you ask me. I would quit that company and go find a different company. You know what? I'm gonna go ask my wife right now. Hey, babe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I stand corrected. My wife said yes. So she works in the marketing department for the Phoenix division of Hensel Phelps, 12th largest construction company. She said yes, they're worried about them mandating unions is what they're worried about. So interesting, cool stuff. Cool stuff. So okay. Well, regardless, there's nothing really backing Bitcoin as the pro. Well, that's okay. Well, then don't try to convince him, Ted. Then don't try to convince him. I mean, every generation. Look, every and see, this is what I'm 45 now, so I've had to think generationally because I have children. They're growing up, and I'm involved in these digital spaces, and I'm involved in the markets, and I have to make what I deem as wise decisions. And especially with Bitcoin, what I realized a long time ago, and I heard it somewhere on some video, is that look, and I said it a minute ago, um, old people die, young people grow up. Okay, all these young people do is digital. That's all they do. That's everything that they do. And so digital is native to them. They're digital natives. You know, anyone older than me is probably not a digital native. You could maybe not consider me a digital native because I grew up with just a Nintendo. When I was 18, I was doing internet stuff, so I guess I'm on the cusp. Maybe consider me old. Um, but But look, when it comes to BTC, it's a $68,000 asset. When it started, it was 3,000. So, whoever has that concern needs to shut the fuck up. That's not the way construction world works. What do you mean? My wife is the construction world. She does all the proposal. She does proposals. So she kind of she has her little fingers in all kinds of stuff, high and low level. But yeah, she says they're kind of worried about unions, mandating unions. I don't know. All right, let's get back to it. Where are we at? We were at Dogecoin. Apparently, Elon talking about Dogecoin, and Dogecoin getting some good volume. So, I mean, rally could continue. We also got some good volume over here, which really didn't go very far until we had a higher low trough, and then we actually broke out, and that's got to be some Elon tweet from February this year. I don't know. That's got to be something. So we'll see how this particular one ends up. But all in all, we're through the 13,231, and we broke the high, didn't even handle out, barely even came back and retested, and we're just kind of gone at that point. So, all right, Cardano. Choppy sideways garbage piece of trash is really what Cardano is, unfortunately. Had a lot of promise, a lot of promise. Everyone loved Cardano. Then it went live, and everyone went live, and no one liked it anymore. Tron. Uh, what is Tron doing? Okay, Tron moving lower. So Tron undercutting a little line here. Tron has a cup and handle. Maybe this could be a bottom of sorts. I don't know. Looking pretty bottom-ish. Maybe not. Maybe not. Bounced up and rolling right back over. Let's see if we can find a higher low here or something. Um, but Tron also with a cup and handle really has been on its own little journey here. So getting back to the all-time highs so far hasn't been able to get past them, which seems very rational. But it has the pattern to do it, so we just have to wait for. Maybe this is that bottoming candle in this handle. So here's the handle. I already have the alert of 1640. I think, yeah, maybe looking for a bottom. Maybe this is it. Maybe we're witnessing it. That's quite a bit of volume that's been soaked up here, but nothing fully yet. Nothing fully yet. All right, AVAX. AVAX also with a cup and handle, not as good as a lot of other tokens. Unfortunately, I think it's lost a lot of its cachet in the crypto world, which is a shame. I think it's cool. I think having 3 different blockchains is pretty dope, actually. I think it decentralizes your decentralizing. So I was saying it didn't matter who was in charge. Um, in terms of investing, Ted, in terms of like what I do with my investments, it doesn't matter to me who's in charge. It only matters to me what the market reacts to. That's all. So when it comes to Bitcoin, who's in charge? I, until it happens, I'm not gonna front run it. I'll just say that. So like it's not something I'm gonna worry about. I'm gonna play the chart. Because here's the thing, like if all you do is worry, Ted, if all you do is stick, stick in your brain and overanalyze and over worry and think 2, 3 layers down what Kamala's gonna do to crypto, um, you're gonna miss on out on something. I don't know what that thing's gonna be, but you're going to miss out on it. If you're sitting there, worried about Trump and what Trump's going to do to this or that, you're going to miss on something. And I don't think it matters ahead of time. Um, once once the president is elected, you will see the market reaction to that, and then you can try to infer what the institutions are thinking. Because really all that matters, and all that matters is what the institutions think. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what your son's construction company or my wife's bosses think. What it matters is their actions. And so, you know, I'll take those nuggets of info, I'll put them in the back of my head, I'll have that knowledge there, and then when the action happens, I can infer what the institutions want to do. And then you can take appropriate positions. And that's really the best way to run those portfolios. Because, yeah, and I think a lot of people forget this, but we're portfolio managers. We just manage our portfolios. And so I really, you can have scenarios laid out. You can do all that stuff if you want to think of it in that perspective. But you don't do anything before the fact. You can't do anything before the fact because you're not guessing who's going to win the election. You're like, okay, I'm going to sell Bitcoin because if Kamala is going to win the election, it's going to go down. Well, what if the institutions think the opposite for whatever reason, right? What if the institutions would really like her to win? What if they plan on buying if either of them win? Like there's a number of scenarios at play here, and you can only do one thing. So it's best to be a little bit more reactive, because whenever the president gets elected, there's the first year is usually like where they get to do stuff. So you got like that 1 year, you have a whole year to buy or sell. So you have time. It's not like it's going to flip a switch and it's going to go from 68K to 250K in a heartbeat. That's not going to happen. It's also not going to go from 68 to 20K in a heartbeat. That's also not going to happen. So that's why I mean it doesn't matter, because we'll see the market's reaction to it, and we'll react to the market's reaction to it, because that's really what matters. It doesn't matter who gets elected. Okay, Shiba Swap. Shiba Swap with a cup looking thing that's getting a little more cuppy. Past couple days, some slightly higher highs. So finally able to get up here. VA tool doesn't really tell us much, and yeah, not much going on there. DOT looking a little bit better. Finally getting off the floor and off the trend line. I'm not sure this would qualify as a cup, which would probably just be a small little trophy consolidation. Not really a lot going on here. It'll have its day like other cryptos too. Um, Probably the best buy off of this thing probably was off of this trend line with a really tight stop, but that's tough to do too. Like where do you buy this? I mean, do you buy it on this candle with a stop at the low? I guess that would have worked. Yeah, I guess that would have worked. But it's tough to do. And you're doing that right now with Tron. Tron's putting that candle in right now as we're speaking. So if that's how you play it, then you're buying Tron right here. Your stop's at the low of the candle. That's how you play that. But we'll see how it closes. I said, I don't think you buy on the candle. I think you give it a little more time. So DOT, Bitcoin Cash, pop back up pretty nicely, but again with a very large volume selling candle, and 369.40 I think is a level to break. Hasn't fully been broken yet. But there's a potential that it could go back up. Again, look, if we're going to go into a larger general market uptrend, yes, everything is going to start to rally, and just kind of depends on what you like and what you're looking at. You know, personally, me, I like to stick with the leaders, and I think if you want to play with some of the meme coins and get some big crazy percentages, I don't think that's bad either. Just understand that they tend to run later, counter cycle, and can be tricky. All right, Chainlink versus the leaders, by the way, tend to be more stable. Price action seems to be more consistent, and I'd probably rather make 200 or 300% than miss out on making 700% for some meme token. Chainlink here, a bit of a disappointment past year essentially. So not doing much down here. Near Protocol not doing a whole lot. Has maybe a potential, but really nothing right now that's substantive. Sui still up here doing weird things. Nothing extraordinarily good or extraordinarily bad. Declining volume in this, which is now technically a bear flag, but it still has higher lows. So I don't think you can really take anything away from this token. Holding this 21 period moving average on in my orange is good. So, I mean, could this thing reverse and bounce right back up? Absolutely, this thing could. There's no classical topping signals on this. You definitely have some distribution up here, but this is pretty much done everything to alleviate that. Now, that being said, let me look at it from Pi Method perspective. It's still pretty good. We're still holding this trend line, this trend line. Let me do this real quick. That's not a Pi Method line. That's a Pi Method line. And this is SUI, not SEI, which I looked at earlier, just for everyone's information. Okay, that's another Pi Method trend line. There's another one here. Gets broken. Sideways is fine. Yeah, that could be considered an exit signal. I was a little worried about that. The only caveat to this is that we've only had one run up, so but that could be considered an exit signal. Yeah, this one's tricky. This one's tricky. This one's super tricky. So if you get rid of that, if you give that a pass for whatever reason, then you have this, which gets extended to here. So in theory, we're kind of still above. If this line gets broken, it's basically dead. But even that, yeah, this is the line. This line should never be broken. So yeah, this one's a little tricky. This one's tricky. I can't say this is easy. It's definitely there's definitely some distribution up here, but at the same time, uh, it's not going down. So what do you say about that? These are tough ones. What was it? Did Cardano? I think Cardano killed a Pi Method trendline, and it's the only case because I studied hundreds of charts on this. Is the only case I found that really rallied back and through. And there's always going to be those unique situations. This could be one of them. So this one's tough. This one's tough. All right, Litecoin. For some reason, Litecoin's getting a bid here. Good volume too. It's declining a little bit on the way up. That is a red flag for doing anything up here. I don't think you want to buy this up here whatsoever. Maybe we'll get a basing structure at some point. But Litecoin's not a garbage crypto. It's a good one. We all know that. ICP, choppy garbage. This one is a garbage crypto. We all know that. Leo. Leo staying choppy after its crazy thing. The funny thing about this, because I'm live, a lot of you guys don't get the newsletter. I actually caught this pump during my newsletter. It was a crazy October 9th. I want to look at it. Where is it? Yeah, here I'll pull it up. Um, yeah, I can do this without any ramifications. Look at this. I caught it when it was up 94%. So I do this newsletter. Obviously, it only takes me, a snapshot, a millisecond to get this picture. But look at that with the full wick. How crazy is that? That we actually caught, that I caught one of those. Statistically, I guess it's bound to happen because I look at so many charts, but it's just really funny. But then if you look at the if you look at the intraday of that chart, it was only up there for it's only up there for a period of minutes. Anyway, I just think it's hilarious that I was able to capture it. So yeah, so I caught almost this full candle, and this is a 5-minute chart. So I caught it during the 5 minutes it was up there. That's pretty funny. So, and then it came right back down the next 5 minutes. And I wouldn't have been talking about it if it came back down. But I'm like, let's see if it holds up. And then nope, reverse right back down. Anyway, this thing sucks. I just thought that was fun. I don't have the. I need to find the button to go back. Anyway. Okay, next up is Uniswap. And Uniswap is choppy garbage, coming back and retesting the breakout point 722. Again, chopped through it. So this doesn't have really the best look to it at all, unfortunately. And like I said, kind of at the top of the show, and I know a lot of you guys weren't here, but the top altcoins, the top coins look good. Most of the alts do have some potential, but ideally they'll be lifted up as these top coins break out. The question is, do you want to participate in these alts as the top coins make the move. And if you do, the question is which ones. I don't have great answers to that right now, to be quite honest with you. So I did have Pepe on the newsletter here. I thought this was a pretty decent cup and handle. But again, volume situation was a little bit awkward. 4 zeros, 1117 is the alert on this one. And a lot of these have these kind of small cup and handles like we looked at with a lot of things right now. We've had a few of these in the past. AXS was making an okay move, but it was already coming back down. So a lot of these alts look like they're trying to start to make moves. So that AR looks like trash. I'll just go down through a few of these. AXS. So I'm looking right now. I'm just looking right here at the right side of this in context with the whole trend and everything. That's Bitcoin Cash. This Blur looks okay. Has a cup and handle. This has a cup on Bonk. There's Brett with whatever that is. So most of these are lower, right? They're lower in whatever these patterns are. Cream looks like trash. That's just chop. There's a minor cup and handle on DYM. So it's just like a good amalgamation of a small sample size of what these alts look like. They don't look very good. That's not even a cup and handle. I won't even call that a cup and handle. Big downtrend, loose uptrend. Nothing preceding it. So we're still stuck in this chop. So my hope is that these will all be pulled up. These will all be pulled up if and when these top coins break out. That's the hope right now. Will it happen? I don't know, but that's the hope you've got. And we'll see if it happens. So, and that's all I got for you guys. That's all I got for you. I got to go. Aram, you want to do some stock stuff tomorrow? We can do some stock stuff tomorrow. We should do some stock stuff. If anyone else wants to join in on that, you're welcome. Gerthan, if you're still here, you were interested in stock stuff. If you want to do stock stuff, you're welcome as well. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do live or something. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow and just talk about stock stuff. Probably around the same time. Yeah, probably around 9 o'clock. My kid's doing brown belt testing tomorrow, which is awesome. Made it to brown belt. That's an accomplishment. He's going to pass. They did a pre-test because his sensei runs the whole thing. It's like a whole big karate thing. Anyway, did a pre-test. He's going to pass. Anyway, I'll just go live again tomorrow for the power hour. And if anyone wants to join, I'll go through crypto faster, and then I will do we'll do stocks however long that takes. I can't say how long it will. All right, guys. Well, have a good day. Stay safe. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. If you enjoy the content, I do run the Real Crypto Power Hour. You can go to real-crypto.com and subscribe there if you are interested in that for daily newsletters, basically 6 days a week at this point. All right, everyone. Have a good day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.